All right, Maverick MacGyver on the prowl. Today I'm going to build a 20 kilowatt array on a purposely built rooftop that's also going to collect rainwater. You can see it slopes from the front to the back, and then we have the original structure that was here. That's the basis of starting this. We have collected all of our materials on site, and now let the fun begin. Riding the armadillo. Cutting a trench. This trench will be about 300 feet long, and I'm using copper wire between the power shed and the solar array. Now, let's get started with the clean slate. 65 foot wide and 35 foot deep, room for 60 panels, 20 kilowatt array. Trenched to the house. So we got our solar conductors there, and we got a 2-inch pipe all the way 300 feet. I think 330 is the wire pull, but 300 feet is the pipe. I'll count it here in a minute. Anyhow, yeah, next step, flip. The next step is to get started on putting the feet down on the roof, and then get the racking and then the panels up there. So lots of work, lots and lots. Beautiful sky though. I love these little puffy clouds. So yeah, good weather. We have this massive metal roof, about 112 pitch. This roof is just made to hold these panels, and of course, I guess the future will be to collect rainwater. So focus on this little task. I'm mounting these feet, S5 brackets to the 2x6 that goes along here. The whatever you want to call it, it's not rafters, because you're going that way. But anyway, I'm mounting these with the tech screws, structural screws. Then I'm going to mount this angled foot, and then I will have a tilt leg in the back to make 20 to 30 degree tilt, and then I will have the panels mounted to the rails. This will come together shortly. In another short video, we'll reveal what it really is going to look like. Stand by. All right, here we go. First row, I think I've got to make a short little piece here. When I calculate the overhang and then total distance of 15 panels, I need 3 more inches, plus some for the end clamp and some expansion space. So there's a splice there, and I'll cut a piece about as long as the splice, and I'm allowed to. So this is the way it lays out. My angle is established there, 30 degrees roughly. It's really depending upon that height and the distance between them, etc. I'm shooting between 30 and 40. I'll be happy with any number in between 30 and 40. That's our approximate latitude. So you want that to match. This is a 15 panel row right here. So 15 60-some modules in portrait. Then on the back side tomorrow, I will make 3 more rows. There will be 4 rows of 15 60 panels total. This is a kit that's come from Iron Ridge. It actually has, a graduated scale for the angle that you're trying to get to. That helps you get closer. And then the length of this rear leg is 30 inches. They come in different lengths for how you're mounting your panels. I'm mounting those legs to this metal roof with this S5 bracket. I'm using 2 3-inch structural screws, 5/16 by 3 1/8 inch long. And they go through the 2x6, which is, where's the 2x6? There. 2x6 is here. So this is our structure. And then the posts are 4x6 posts in concrete. So it's not going to go anywhere. And it's also going to collect a lot of rainwater. It's a 2-for-1. Actually, it's a 3-for-1, because you can actually store all kinds of stuff underneath this in the shade. There's going to be room for a tractor to park there, and then whatever shelves or bins or in the shade storage. In this shade storage, rainwater collection surface, and solar power capturing. That is all for today. See y'all tomorrow. Okay, this is a little tutorial on installing the S5 Fastfoot. S5 is the brand name. Fastfoot is the shape. As you can see, it is a little aluminum trestle. I think that's the right word. It's crossing over or something. Anyhow, you can see I've drilled some holes in the sheet metal here. That was air. And then I installed blocking between this 2x6 and this 2x6, which happens to be a 4x6 left over from making the post to make the structure. Now, I'll peel off the stickies here with one hand. Look at that. There we go. Butyl. This is butyl. It's a lifetime seal. I'm going to line this existing holes up where I drilled into the tin. Then I'm going to install 4 of these structural bolts, screws, fasteners. We'll just call them fasteners. I'm going to install 4 of them. This is a 5/16 by 3 1/8. It's going to go into that 4x6, and then I won't bore you with that. I can't do it anyway with one hand on the recording, but you will see shortly. The magic will happen. Now this screw will actually drill right through the metal and make its cut in the wood, and then up here at the top it cleans out the hole in the wood so it doesn't split, and then bam, you're in. So stand by. And just like that, the magic happens. Now this is an anchor anchor point for the rest of the racking. You can see I'm well on my way to being finished. I have one more anchor to put down, one more of these to put down, and then I will finish constructing the tilt-up rails on the high side and the low side. Tomorrow is panel day. Panels, 60 panels going on in the system. I'm going to make a small jig to make a unified gap between the top rail, which actually can tilt. I mean, it's fastened now, but it can actually move. And I'll make a jig to go from the top rail to the bottom rail so that the spacing is uniform all the way down as the panels get set on there. So you'll see that tomorrow. Stand by. Now the first thing that I want to do is build some steps using some 2x material that's here, 2x6 and 2x12, I think it was. So you have to cut the treads and you have to cut the steps themselves. Dun 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 dun. I don't really know how the rest of the song goes. Look at all these solar panels in beautiful rows. Yeah. 60 panels, 20 kilowatts, all facing the glorious Texas sun. Yeah, look at that. Winter time and sun time and fun time. Okay, the next step will be getting all these wires daisy chained by the wind. The wind is ferocious, and then getting all these home runs down to the wire pull that already goes to the path there. So, get back to work. Steps. There's a snake in my boots. Actually, that's just a bunch of number 2 copper laying on the ground. And that shows this so far. The gutter has been mounted. The 2 other uni struts on the top will be for the combiner boxes. And then the combiner boxes will be perched on these EMT pipes with the Myers hubs, watertight connections. And so tomorrow I will finish that up and then start the individual circuits to each group of panels. And I think I'm going to run underneath the structure to keep everything in the shade and then out of the weather. So Tomorrow I'll do some penetrating of the roof where appropriate to get up to the each group there. I'm gonna do a central line from each group down the middle and then to the combiner array. So, rinse and repeat. All right, see y'all tomorrow. All right, got everything roughed in, or more than roughed in, wired up. The home runs are wired up, going back towards the power structure, power room. We've got 4 combiners here and a wiring gutter. Cat 5 comes up out of this 1/2-inch pipe. It will go over to internet device. Each combiner, Midnight Solar combiner, has Midnight Solar surge arrestor going up to 3 Midnight Solar 2 or 300 volt DC breakers. I'll have 5 60 cell modules in series, 5 times 3, 15 modules in this group, 15, 15, 15, 60 modules total. Inside I have 4 Outback Power 300 volt 100 amp charge controllers that will receive all this madness, and we'll get those booted up next. So I'll identify which of these groups, like for instance this is going to be the red group. I think I'll just put red tape around the wires to indicate. I'll turn on one breaker, go find the matching pair. They're all laying out there to land them on their receiving end, and then the orange group, the yellow group, and the blue group. On the roof I'll also designate the same colors for the rows as appropriate, and then the charge controllers get marked those colors as well. So it'll be easy to identify if there's a future troubleshooting requirement, or if any other trouble, measurements or what have you, we'll know what's going on. So that's where we are so far. Let's put these covers on and go on to the next step. Okay, we're underneath the structure, the rainwater collection device. We have 4 home runs because we have 4 rows of panels. RGBY, the red row, the blue, the green, and the yellow. And they come down to here, our combiner box array. We have 4 combiner boxes. Each combiner box has 3 20 amp, 300 volt DC breakers. Because we have 5 panels in series, we're going to be running about 200 volts or so, 200 probably VOC, 165 VMP voltage at maximum power. So anyway, 3 circuits coming down, combined, surge arrestor installed. I still have to do a ground plane here, ground. This ground is solid stone. Let me get distracted for a second. See that? That's solid stone. So we'll have to do some serious hole digging for that ground rod array. I think I'll do 4 ground rods. So there's that for today. Let's go up on the roof and I'll show you the back side of 1 row of panels. Stand by. Okay, up on the roof. Well, it's not that high up on this side. Here's the back of the array. I may have to walk down a bit to turn the camera back because the light's going to be in the way. So yeah, we'll stop here. There's the penetration, the little service loop. Then the cables go to the left and to the right to catch all 15 panels, as you can see. And so there's that. And then I used the rails as my attachment point for each cable set. And I used 1/2-inch clamps and self-tapping screws. There's very little tie wraps in this system. Tie wraps tend to dry out anyway, even the nice black ones. So it's parts will last. These parts will last for a long time in this position. And then these are, they're not sharp or what have you. And this U2 cable is very heavy duty, so not concerned about longevity here. All right, that's that for today. I've got to do the other 2 rows. The back row has already been completed as well. The 2 middle rows have not been completed. So here we are. Another day, another day. Tomorrow we'll get these panels connected to the charge controllers and then boot up the system. Signing off for now. Well, you might be wondering where all that copper is going. On the far side into the power room, it is powering 32 Tesla Model S reclaimed batteries on a dual stack of Outback Radian 8048 inverters with 4 charge controllers. So yeah, thanks for watching.